Hello, my name is Dale Wilhite. I live in Mountain Village, Colorado. If you want to find out anything about me, go to MySpace where I have a page. My concept here is about computerized school classes. Computerized school classes would be something that would be at a lot of kids would take these courses at home, just like you can take a college online course now. But these classes would be have live teachers, and they would be teaching a host of a lot of students. Let me just put it that way, maybe more than 30 or 35. It does depend on how it's set up. And these kids would have to get up every morning, maybe say start at 9 o'clock, and they'll do just exactly what they would do if they were in the classroom in front of a live teacher. The children I'm talking about here are kids that are exceptional, kids that don't need a whole lot of help. They're just intelligent. Might only take 10%, 20% of the kids out of a school, that can do this. And eventually it may catch on and it may expand and more kids will stay home to do their schoolwork. And of course they have to sign in every morning. There has to be evidence that they're there. That would have to be worked out. But it would be a good way for the educational system to advance, and it would be a way to save billions of dollars because with fewer kids in school, there's less need for school bus drivers. There's less need for all kinds of things, and that you have to have for a school. It would ease up the traffic a little bit in front of schools. You know how bad it gets when school starts in the morning. All these cars are lining up. Parents, taking their kids to school. School buses stopping here, stopping there. As I said, I eventually believe this thing would expand and it would become the way of the future. Again, it will not replace a live teacher, and these kids will probably have to maybe once a week go to school, and where they can take tests and have access to a living teacher rather than just seeing a living teacher on some computer. I don't know how it all works, but I'm just providing a foundation because the college online courses are very successful and they're very good. Why can't we start doing that with the high school kids and implement this, especially in towns and cities where kids are just not getting a good education anymore, or having serious budget crisis and just can't fund everything anymore. So they've got to find something, an alternative to that. Again, this would not be for all school kids. It would probably have to start off with the most exceptional kids that can learn this way. As I said, there may have to have programs, where there's tutors online that these kids can, after they get their assignment, can turn to if they have questions. That would provide some jobs there. I don't think it's going to wipe out our school system. I don't think it's going to lay off hundreds of thousands of teachers, but it's going to lay some off. But those teachers can, go on and teach something else in a different place maybe. Because again, this is not going to be everywhere. But it's the only way I know of right now that we can really cut the educational budget and still give our kids a good education. The one flaw, well, there's actually more than one flaw, but the main flaw in this is that these kids need to interact with each other more. They need to exercise. You can't do exercises necessarily at home by just telling the kids to get up and do a few jumping jacks. They need to play volleyball, baseball, or softball, and they need to engage in sports, high school sports, and things like that. So all that has to be worked out. The other alternative to that is that instead of these kids attending a school or staying home, every community in America that can do it would have something like a civic center or some place where these kids can meet together. They sit in front of their computers and they learn at a certain time of the day. Somebody will take them out for them to engage in sports. So of course you need enough kids that have to be of the same grade, of course. That might be one way. That's the main flaw that bothers me is the fact that these kids need to be able to get out and have exercise. They need to interact with each other. You don't want kids to sit in their homes and they have no access to, other kids, during the day. That's not healthy. And the lack of exercise is not healthy either. They need that exercise. So again, that would have to be worked out. But like it or not, I think the wave of the future is going to be computerized schools. And that's the only way you're going to really cut the budget. The money just isn't there anymore. And we are giving our kids in this country a good education in some areas, and in some areas a really bad education. And something needs to be done about that. I still think this is the wave of the future. If it's working with colleges, online college courses, it just might work for the high school kids and elementary kids. But again, it wouldn't be for all these kids. Schools are still going to be around. Teachers are still going to be needed. But it will begin slowly reducing the number of kids out of school And those who do attend the school should be the kids that need the most help. But there are just some kids, they just show up in class and look at the book and that's it, and take a test and make an A. So there's just a lot to work out. But I think the educational system of the future is going to be computerized schools. It's the writing's on the wall. It's coming. And I think it needs to start soon, because if not, our kids are going to continue to get a worse education as teachers are being laid off. The NEA keeping control of the educational system and making sure that our kids get a third world education. That seems to be their intent. They don't care much about these kids. They pretty much bought off the Congress, at least the Democrats. I don't know how many Republicans they bought off. They bought a lot of people off and have made it very clear if they support charter schools and things like that, they're going to not give them any money, basically, for their campaigns. And so the NEA basically is holding our Congress hostage. And this is a way around that. I do believe in charter schools. I do believe parents have the right to send their kids to whatever school they want. They want to send it to religious school, they can send it to religious school. It's none of the NEA's business. And I think our educational system should be in the hands of the states only, not the federal government. The federal government should just mind its own business and let the states educate these kids. They know how to do it better than the federal government ever will. And it makes it harder for the NEA to hold all these state legislators in all 50 states hostage, by threats that we're not going to fund your campaign or something. Anyhow, I just think the computerized educational system of the future is upon us. And it's going to be the only way that we're going to save our educational system, because we just don't have the money anymore. And it may be 20, 30, 40, 50 years, if even then, that we'll get it back where we can do this. Because no matter how much money we throw into our educational system, it still sucks in so many places. Especially poor kids, minority kids, they get the worst of it. And only the upper class and the kids that are near the best schools, they get a good education, but inner city kids, they don't get one. And Obama, you would think, would have defended these kids and would have gone out of his way to help minority kids, help poor kids to get a better education. Nope, he's bought off by the NEA too. Nothing has changed. Anyway, thanks for your time, and I hope this enlightens you a little bit. It's not exactly a new concept, but it's just a prediction of the future and something that we need to look at making it become a reality sooner than later. Thank you for your time.